Hello and welcome to the Offers.com version 5 platform. My name is Rich Swire. I'm one of the co-founders of Offers.com, and I'm here to take you through a tour of all the good things that we've developed here for you. We traveled the country, talked to thousands of agents about how we could improve our platform. And so we've tried to combine everything that we've heard, not only on the road, but through great feedback channels. And today we'd like to present to you the version 5 platform. Right off the bat, you'll notice the user experience is a little bit different. When you first log in, the dashboard allows you to kind of see at a glance what we're doing for you with our automated marketing. The first thing you'll see is all your people that we've provided you and how they're tagged. And what do I mean by tagged? Well, in order for us to categorize people, understanding what kind of marketing we should be sending to them, and also understand where they are as far as a status in your sphere or in your farm, we are now using a tag-based system. So it's very much like you would use in the real world when you refer to people. You might refer to somebody as a former client or a hot lead. We come with multiple tags that we provide automatically with the system, things like hot, sphere, farm, verified, lead, etc. And of course, you can add your own custom tags, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. So right off the bat, you see the entire universe of your people and how they are tagged. And then down here, you'll see kind of a summary point of what our automated marketing is doing. As you know, we divide up our farm into three primary types of leads: smart data leads, lookup leads, and verified leads. The smart data leads are what we identify with our algorithm. Our lookup leads are the people that actually show intention by visiting our website, housevaluereport.com, and actually take action on looking at their house value. And then, of course, verified leads are those leads that we've actually communicated with either through our call center or they've told us that they're thinking about selling their house through our online website. So our job as an automated marketing company is to really drive these numbers up and to reach out to your farm and also your sphere to try to drive these leads to you. And then once we've done that, you can introduce your brand and begin to conversation and building a relationship. You'll also notice on the dashboard that we are introducing Rhea. Now, Rhea has actually been part of our system for the past few years. It is what we call the machine learning algorithm that is really driving our predictive analytics. But now we've kind of given her a personality and brought her to the forefront because we're also developing algorithms on how to optimize your marketing. Not only helping us at a call center and a marketing center to target those property owners that are most likely to sell, but also to kind of encourage you and show you the path on how to market to those homeowners at the right time with the right message. And so now she's measuring the effectiveness of our marketing out to the universe of people. And this is what we hope will ultimately improve also not just conversion, but also automate a lot of that work that you're currently doing. So let's go ahead and get started by looking at the settings, because this is really where it all begins. When you upgrade to version 5, you'll notice that we've moved all the configuration into one tab. Now you'll see over here that obviously the standard things that you would typically want to fill out is your profile. You upload your photo and logo. Also, we want to make sure that you have your signatures in place, because once we start automated marketing and sending out emails or sending out text messages, we want to make sure all this is in place so that when the message does go out, it has your contact information, your information is correct, etc. You'll also notice this is where you manage your territories, when the territories you've licensed from us, and also uploading your sphere of contacts. This is important because one of the things that we really strive in the new version is we've combined all people into a single universe. What I mean by that is we not only provide you the farm that you've licensed through your territory, and of course that includes all your smart leads, etc., but we also encourage you to upload your sphere, because ultimately what we want to do is to put together an automated marketing program that really pushes into your entire database. This is what's going to leverage you're ultimately going to leverage and be leveraged and ultimately deliver more leads. You'll also see that we've also continued to offer our smart sites. This is if you want to launch a branded version of our housevaluereport.com to drive home lookup leads to yourself. So if you're going to do any sort of marketing outside of offers online or through email, etc., we encourage you to set up your own smart site, and of course you could drive those leads anywhere and right back into our system. We also continue to offer connectors into some popular CRMs out there. If you're looking to kind of port leads as we develop them into another system, this is a great way to do that. And now to kind of the core of one of the big changes we've made in the platform is what we call tags. And as I mentioned before, tags is just a descriptive way to kind of describe someone. Now, of course, someone could have multiple tags. An example would be hot lead or cat lover or condo. It can be really anything. The reason why we developed this system is because as we move into becoming an automated marketing platform, we need to identify people so that we know what kind of message to send to them. But also, it's a great way to trigger a message going out. So, for example, if you tag somebody a hot lead, you can automatically send them a follow-up email or a text message or even a direct mail piece. And this is the power of the new version 5 platform. So not only are we on one side calling, surveying, and targeting through online ads the entire farm that you've licensed, but we're also providing you a tool set that allows you to reach out to them in a very personalized manner automatically through our autopilot system. But tags is really important because ultimately we need to tag the people in order to know what message to send, when to send it, and how to send it as well. We still support teams, so you can obviously set up a team and add members to your team. This is ultimately the path to sharing your license, and also things like lead routing, which we now have part of the system. So setting up a team is very similar to before. You simply add a team, invite members, and you're off and running. The lead routing has changed quite a bit, but we believe it's going to be more effective and more powerful. Essentially, you can easily go in and add a route, and what I mean by that is what happens when a lead comes into, for example, a territory. If it's a hot lead, for example, you can say, you can even get more descriptive and say, if it's a hot lead with condo, I want it to go to another person. And this lead routing is very flexible and can be configured very easily. And this is really for those teams that are trying to say, okay, for this specific territory or for this specific tag, I want it to go to this specific person. If you have challenges setting this up, our support team is more than happy to help you kind of guide you through this system to do it. Now on to really autopilot. Now what we offer with the system is what we call templates. Now templates are basically all the different things that we've developed in-house. And also, of course, you could develop your own custom templates on how we want to communicate to a certain tag or a certain person. So let's take, for example, a lookup lead. So a lookup lead is somebody who's visited our housevaluereport.com site and has said, hey, look, I'm interested in getting my house value. So what do you want to do after that? So you'll see here in our templates, we've created many, many different templates that you can select on how to send it and when to send it. On the left side, you'll see on day 0, we send out a nice little email that says, hey, thank you for visiting the site. And then, of course, on day 7, we can activate another template that actually provokes them to do something else. Now, you'll see in the pull-down menu that we have multiple templates that you can choose from that are automatically included in your system. But, of course, you can always customize these or create your own. And we offer 5 channels currently with our autopilot system as well. So if you want to send a text message, a voicemail, letter, etc., you can set all this up right into our autopilot system. And the minute somebody is tagged a lookup lead, this invokes. So essentially on day 0, when they're tagged lookup lead, they automatically get this email. On day 7, they would get this text if we activated it, and so forth. And so setting this up can be a little bit complex. So we want to make sure you reach out to our support team if you need any help. But I think it's exciting to see kind of the templates we've created and how easy it is to configure your autopilot all the way up to day 365. So ultimately the entire year based on how you want to kind of maintain your communication with that specific tag. And of course, if you create your own custom tag, you can do that just as well. So it's a great way to kind of make sure your marketing is out there in front of the right people with the right message. You can also easily control which autopilot settings do you want to kind of turn on or turn off. So through autopilot, you have your tags here on the left, and you can turn on or off autopilot, and you can also select to require approval. So a great example is before the email goes out to that lookup lead, if you want to approve that email, it'll ask you to approve it. A lot of times people don't want to they want to control your budget. For example, sending out a direct mail piece or a letter which has cost to it, then you want to make sure that you approve those as they go through the system. And of course with email and text you may not care as much, and so you might just want to send it without approval. So all this is configured here in your autopilot settings. So really the combination of templates, what to send, when to send it, and then here making sure that you turn on or off what you want to actually going out, and then what you want to be approved. Again, this is a part of a system that's extremely powerful, and if you need any guidance, feel free to attend one of our training classes, and also, of course, reach out to our support team. For any billing questions or to see a copy of your bill or any other information about your licenses, we also have added this account section as well. So that's really kind of the core of account settings. We want to make sure that you set up your profile so everything is in there, because you'll start to notice as we go through the product that your picture, your information, your signatures will start popping up into the marketing pieces. So to have this complete is kind of step one in setting up the system. So let's now go into one of the biggest sections of the area is called people. So you'll notice up here on the main navigation, we've really divided the world into two main things, people and campaigns. So people are obviously the universe of people that we're dealing with, whether it's farm or sphere. And then campaigns is actually the marketing, the 360-degree marketing that we can do to those people. So right when you click on people, you'll notice that we have some quick links to certain tags. Now these are system tags up here, but you'll also notice these three tags are actually custom tags that the user created on their own. But when you click on a certain tag, whether it be farm, sphere, or lookup leads, you'll notice that information presents itself. So this is where you would see all the people's information. You'll see their score, their information here, how to connect to them, their address, and so forth. And of course, we're going to constantly try to app in and update information on an ongoing basis. So this is a living, breathing database. It's not stagnant. So when you actually do click on a person to view their information, you'll notice the profile changed quite a bit. What's exciting about this new profile, it makes it very easy to launch a one-to-one campaign. And we're going to talk about a one-to-many campaign in a minute, but what I'm going to focus on right now is a one-to-one campaign. Meaning for Douglas Prescott, this is a person that has actually visited the website, also as a verified lead. So we've actually surveyed them and thinking of selling. And so I can send Douglas Prescott an email from here, a report, a text message, direct mail, letter, or I can obviously add a note if I call him personally. All the information over here about Douglas is here. If I want to kind of understand the property, you have all the information about the property. In this case, he might be an investor. This might be a rental property. He might be looking to make some money on it as the market is peaking out. You also notice the completed survey that we took over the phone. So, this is really the power of our system. It's not just a platform. It's not just a marketing platform. We are working behind the scenes to fill this database and to consistently improve our scoring algorithm. But more importantly, we're reaching out to these homeowners, farming for you, presenting this information. This is amazing stuff if you think about the power of when you have on your fingertips a homeowner, their information, all their contact information, 6 different ways I can communicate to them directly, and then more importantly, what they're thinking, if they're thinking of selling, etc. And so this is really kind of the core of the platform, the power of the platform. So let's say I want to send Douglas Prescott a direct mail piece. I could click on direct mail. And so what it loads up is kind of a direct mail template that I can use. Now, of course, I can load a template from the system. Now we have multiple templates that we provide right off the bat. And you'll see right off the bat, we have information here, a photo, and say, you know what, I don't like that template, I want to load another template. You can choose whatever you want from here. Now the cool thing about it is you can also populate it with your own photograph. So in this case, like your buyer weights, let's say we wanted to update that photo. Well, you can simply click on upload a design to make that change. Or you know what, maybe I wanted to make this personalized because this is a one-to-one marketing piece. So I can actually use his name in the marketing and say, Douglas, your buyer awaits. So how powerful is that? That you can actually communicate to somebody personally. You can actually even take a picture of the neighborhood to show something that you're actually local. Put a short note, send out a direct mail piece with a couple clicks of the button. And that's how easy it is. I can send this campaign by clicking a button, choose when I want it to go out, and then send it. And this is how easy it is to do it manually. Of course, if you want to set this up on autopilot, you can do that as well. But I love the power of both manual and auto because being able to kind of reach out and personalize and put your own human touch behind it, there's a lot to be said about that. But also, of course, you want to make sure that you don't miss a step. So autopilot is there to make sure that you're not missing an email that goes out or a text message. But just think about how powerful these combinations of this auto and manual is. So you go back to Douglas Prescott. So once you actually send out the direct mail, we'll obviously add a note ourselves. But if you talk to Douglas, you can say, hey, I talked to Douglas. He is thinking about selling. I called him, and he's a hot lead now. But I'm going to assign this task to me, and I want to set myself a reminder to call him back because he said, call me back September 13th because that's when I'm in. So it's that easy to really set up a note and set up a task for you to really kind of call it. You'll see the task has been set, the timer, and then the note has been set as well. And this is really how easy it is to work with a profile. So if you get a lead, a verified lead, lookup lead, this is kind of what we consider best practice. Understanding who Douglas is, taking a couple of looks, maybe choosing a template that you might want to send out, but really reaching out to that lead and personalizing it. Of course, you can also generate a property report with a click of a button as well. So clicking on the report will generate a report that comes out. Now, a lot of times, most of the time, we do get the property value and we present it. Now, realize our property value is not based on anything other than a market value provided to us by the property appraiser. So make sure that you look at the property value, make the updates that you want to. So in this case, if it's 256,000, you say, you know what, this is not correct. I want to edit that. So it's really easy. Go here to edit report and put in your own valuation. Now, of course, ideally, if it's a lookup lead, they have already filled out the form on our lookup site and presented their own idea of what their home is worth. So that'll automatically fill it into this report. And then you could follow up and say, hey, I saw that you filled out the house value report. Let's talk about it. But you'll see here that you can edit this report as needed. We also put in some comps and some other information as well. So this property report can be sent right there, direct mail, or you can download it as a PDF and do what you will with it. So again, the power of this product is really about communicating effectively with the right message to the right person at the right time. More importantly, that we're trying to fill in this information so it makes it easier for you to act on it. So now let's talk about searching by tags. Well, one of the things that's powerful about the tag system is as I start tagging Douglas, let's say I want to add or edit a new tag on Douglas, these are all ways that I can search for Douglas. And so one of the things that I like to do is make sure that every single lead is tagged the right way so that I can also come back and find them the right way. So we automatically tag them lookup lead, verified lead, etc. But let's say Douglas is a sports fan, or maybe you create your own custom tag. You can add that in there as well. And you might send them a specific message to all the sports fans or all the cat lovers. And it sounds funny and kind of quirky, but it's an amazing way to personalize your marketing. Again, this is really about the power of manual, personalized marketing, and of course our autopilot, best of both worlds. So let's talk about campaigns. Now that we've kind of understand people, let's talk about campaigns. So one of the things about the product is the power of one-to-one marketing, but now we also introduce one-to-many marketing. So if you're going to do a one-to-many marketing, you can choose one of your channels here: direct mail, report letter, voicemail, text, email, etc. So let's say I want to send out a mass email to my lookup leads. I simply click on that email. I can choose up my lookup lead tab. It'll go ahead and tell me that I have 5 people that match that tag with an email. I might have 11 lookup leads, but only 5 have an email at this point. Then what's going to be great is Ray is going to suggest to you what templates to use. Now, she already knows what templates you've used in the past. She also kind of knows what templates have already been set. So she's going to recommend the higher the template, the better, of which ones are converting the best. Now, of course, we're looking at these templates across thousands of real estate agents. So we're looking at things that can really help convert, get the clicks, get the views, etc. So this one is one of our highest performing templates right here as far as an email. Now you can customize this any way you want, just like always, but it gets you kind of a head start on things. And what's important about this and being able to save these things and use these things is that you can consistently use these. You can save it as a template. You can also see how it performs, etc. If you want to send yourself a test, it's this easy to do. And of course, if you want to preview it, you can simply click preview and so forth. And you'll see right there is we brought in that signature that we talked about earlier in the presentation. Sending this campaign is the same no matter what you do. So if you create an email, a text message, a direct mail, you'll see how easy it is. When you click send campaign, we ask you what date you want to send it out, and then boom, okay, I approve it, and it goes right out. So think about that for a second, how easy it was for me to send out to my lookup leads an email with a few clicks of a button. And of course, once you get comfortable with what messaging you want to send out and start to form your kind of tone and what your ultimately messaging you want it to be for your brand, then you can bring these over and configure autopilot and really let it rip. If you find yourself doing the same thing over and over, that's going to give you that comfort to say, you know what, maybe it's time for me to turn on that autopilot for this specific email that goes out to look up leads. And that's kind of how we see it. We don't see it setting up the autopilot with 1,000 different things on day one. We see it kind of understanding what your kind of traditional path of how you communicate to people based on a tag. And once you kind of get it configured, maybe it'll take a few weeks, maybe it'll take a couple months, whatever it takes in order for you to kind of get comfortable. Then you set this thing on autopilot and your communication goes out, and then Rhea becomes your true marketing assistant for you. You can view all the campaigns as well to see what's kind of gone out, which is real easy. You can see what's in your drafts, see what's sent. It's real easy to follow kind of all the elements of what you've done within the system as well. And then, of course, you can also look at what's being done on autopilot. And remember, we're not just autopilot when as far as what you're configuring, but autopilot as far as what we're doing on our side, as far as the phone calls we're making, the online advertising, etc. So you'll see a really cool little report here that shows for you how many calls are being made, how many surveys are being done, and so forth. So this is your portal to understand the team that we have here at Offers.com that's working on your behalf. You know, we're the kind of that virtual ISA, that powerful component of your marketing strategy. And we're reporting to you, hey, we placed 100 phone calls today and got 9 surveys. Now, even if we don't generate a lead, the point of this is that we're consistently farming. And farming takes time, but when we actually discover somebody that's a hand raiser, we're typically discovering them 90 days before they're thinking about listing. So you're first in the door, and that's really the goal here. You know, this is not a cut the corner, get listings in a week kind of system. This is really about systematic farming, reaching out to your entire database, and making sure you're staying on top of the leads that are already in your farm and your sphere. And a lot of that has to do with automated marketing, but a lot of that has to do with just sheer work. And our call center and marketing center really stays on top of that. You know, if you get distracted or don't have the time to do it, you know that somebody else is out there doing it at a fraction of cost what you'd pay an employee to do the same thing at a lesser degree of value. So now we've talked about people, we've talked about campaigns, and I think in everybody's head right now, it's probably starting to make sense. You know, we divided the world into, you know, sphere and farm and thinking about different things, but more importantly is bring them together as a universe, tag them so that we know how to communicate to them, and then use these campaigns to really send out messages that represent you and represent your message, whether it's a direct mail piece, whether it's a text message or so forth. And this is really kind of what is really unique about version 5 of the platform, is that now we really want to enable you to have the most powerful marketing platform backed by our lead gen center that's doing the calling and also doing the outbound emails and also the outbound online advertising, and then driving them to you and ultimately building your funnel. And this is key to the whole thing, is building that funnel, building that pipeline of business is what we're doing down here. And of course, ultimately, we want to turn that into listings, and we give you the tools to do so. So that kind of gives you a high-level overview of version 5. I'm very excited about the new platform. We've got some really amazing stuff coming down the road that's going to continue to be powerful, but I want to make sure that you understand what big changes we made and how excited we are to present it to you. Now, before we end this call, I want to make sure that we jump over real quick to our new house value report. Now, what's interesting about this new approach to our housevaluereport.com is nobody else is doing this. Every other portal and everybody else in the industry is kind of forcing down the throat of the real estate agent as well as the homeowner a value. And that is not our approach. What we found doing surveys and what we found talking to consumers, and we talked to millions of consumers over the course of the year, is that they really want a seat at the table. And as we talk to our customers, they also want a seat at the table to understand what the value of the home really is. They don't trust companies like Zillow or other portals that just present a value. Sometimes it's too high, sometimes it's too low. It's never right. Well, we all know the reality is the home is worth as much as what the homeowner is willing to sell it for and what the real estate agent is able to sell it for. So this is the kind of the experience that we wanted to bring into our site. So the housevaluereport.com is really more about a home value experience. It's not a CMA, or it's not a house, a home value lookup site. It's really more than that. So the first step when a homeowner comes on here is they can put in their address. And what we want to do is we want to take them through an experience. So in this case, I'm looking up a condo. So the first thing it's going to do is ask me what unit I'm in. And what we want to do is take them through an experience. We want to ask them questions. The first right off the bat, you'll see that we don't give them a number and say, hey, this is it. This is the number, guys. No. What we say is, hey, this is what the tax assessor thinks your value of your house is. 99% of the time, it's not right. I'll tell you why it's not right. The tax assessor couldn't even tell us how many bedrooms and bathrooms were in this condo. And so we need to fill out this information. So let's go, when we ask the homeowner to let's fix it, what we're really doing is asking them to help participate in the home valuation. So let's say this is a 3-2 condo, and let's say it's 2,000 square feet. Well, automatically what we do is we go out and we look and compare what values are out there, and we start building on the home value it is. Let's say they made home improvements. So we ask them more information about where they live, and we take this information based on a lot of variables and continue to add the value. You'll see the value starting to creep up here. And these elements are very important because ultimately you'll see the home value goes up, and it continues to go up as we start adding subjective as well as qualitative and quantitative information to the home valuation report. It also creates a relationship with the homeowner because now they feel like they have an interesting seat at the table where they can participate in the home value and not just trust it, but actually be part of it. Now, you'll see when they complete the survey, one of the things we do is we look at our on-demand score, and this is people that are searching for a zip code for this type of property, and we present it to the client and says, hey, your property is in high demand. And then, of course, we actually ask them, yes, and I'm thinking of selling this year. So they might not be. So this is where we can qualify them as a lead. And this is when a lookup lead actually becomes a verified lead. And of course, we ask for their information as well, which we send directly to you. Now, what's cool about this is that we're actually engaging with the homeowner and getting them to kind of verify the home value. And then this information comes back to you as not only a lookup lead, but if they go this far, it's actually a verified lead if they select, I'm thinking of selling. So you've seen the house value report experience is completely different. It's really about engaging you with the homeowner and both of you working out the home valuation. So a lot of people are saying, hey, your home valuation's wrong when I went to your website, in the previous version. And what we got was frustration. Now what we have is conversation. We're trying to connect you with the homeowner, working on home values. This home value that we present right here might still be wrong, but that's why we give it back to you as the expert. The real estate agent ultimately works with the homeowner to find out what the true value is. This is a guesstimate based on a lot of variables that we've put into a new algorithm, but it's never going to be perfect. What's going to be perfect is building the relationship and building that bridge between you and the homeowner. So those are the two big things that we've been working on over the past year, really taking feedback from the consumer as well as the homeowner and as well as you as well, the realtor, and trying to build something that works not only from a lead gen perspective, but building a relationship and starting that conversation. So I hope this presentation gave you a little bit of insight on how everything is starting to come together. I'm sure you have a lot of questions. We do offer training 2 times a day, unlimited to our customers, so you can dial in, join one of our groups, and walk through the system as detailed as you want. We've also have live support on the website as well, where you can chat with an agent. But if you have any issue that goes beyond just kind of, how do I do this, how do I do that, we also provide you a ticketing system right there on the site as well that you can access real easily. So to sign up for training, you simply click on live training, or to submit a ticket, you can do that right here. And of course, you see this little chat bubble down here. You can talk to somebody and create a conversation if you need some guidance while you're logged into the website. We're pretty pumped about this new version. We hope that you take the time to really understand it and see the power of this. And we're here obviously to help you on the way. Thank you so much, and thank you again for your support.